although everyone has looked at Mother Teresa and photographs of her with those she was helping, and see the love she was expressing, it is not obvious from the pictures that not everyone that she was helping was stood in pleasant receipt of it. They were not happy people she was helping. They had not had happy lives. And many that she helped and also the other sisters helped were dealing with difficult personalities and difficult attitudes, and yet they knew that the expression of love had to be given, that it was deserved whether the individual knew he deserved it or not, and that it needed to be given whether it could be received or not. Whether it was received or the manner in which it was received had nothing to do with why they were extending the love.
So it's not so much the emotion of love that you feel, it is the gift of love that you give to yourself by giving to others. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because you see, the gift you give to yourself, the gift of love that you give to yourself, is not something you actually give to yourself. By having the object of your affection, you open the door for the Father's love to come through you, and you are blessed by the receipt of the Father's love, which you have been willing to extend to the object of your affection, as we were speaking earlier. So a gift is received by the giver. And the way you give yourself the gift of the Father's love is by extending love to an object of your affection. You fulfill your function as the presence of love by extending love, which draws the Father's love through you, and both you and the one you are extending to are blessed. And that's when the joy is felt. Part of her problem is that she's feeling as though the love is coming only from her. And it's a one-way street, and you're not feeling the benefit. You're not feeling the Father's love that is coming through you and blessing you as you extend it. You see?
Yes, I understand. That is the joy.
That is correct.
One would feel. Okay. Thank you, Raj.
You sort of prime the pump by extending love to your fellow man before you've received it from the Father. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
The Course says, mentions looking into your brother's eyes and remembering God. The way you have the experience of God is by involvement with your brother or sister at the level of extending love, whether they seem deserving of it or not. And in that act, it's an act of faith, actually, to extend love to your fellow man. Because love truly does not originate with you. It originates always with God, but in your extension of love and care to another, as I said, it primes the pump. It opens the valve, you might say, so that you can stand in receipt of the Father's love, which then is extended and blesses.
Thank you.
It's interesting. It could be looked at as interesting that the issues being dealt with today have had to do with having an object of your affection, making commitment, fulfilling your function. You all have really had the same issue from different vantage points. Hands. Is there anyone here that isn't going to be here tomorrow that has a question? Okay, right here.
Well, this is really going to shift gears, and I'm going to ask the question at the risk of sounding totally squirrely, but I'm very curious about something, and it's something that there are a lot of people that have a lot of fear around, including some of my friends. And it has to do with, excuse me, a lot of white stripes, trails that are appearing in the sky. It used to be that commercial aircraft would leave contrails that would dissipate in a couple of minutes. But lately, they've been very thick and white. They've lasted for hours. They spread out and merge with other trails and leave thick cloud layers. So I have been trying to find some answers, and on one hand, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there with some very wild ideas, and they call them chemtrails. And on the other hand, there's been some government documents that have explained it away as a natural phenomenon. So I guess I'm just wondering, what are they? And if it is a natural phenomenon, why is it that it's a new natural phenomenon? What's happened in the atmosphere that's allowing this to be seen all around the globe?
It is a natural phenomenon, and everyone can be at rest about it. And it simply has to do with layers of air currents that have been primarily the result of the This is me, Paul. I'm the word iniki. The hurricane is getting in the way. What's the word for the
Jet stream?
no, the warm water current at the equator?
El Nino?
Yes, yeah, it's primarily a result of the change in the weather pattern as a result of El Nino and La Nina. Enjoy the beauty of it and let it go at that.
Good. I'll pass that along. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hands? In the back, yes.
I was wanting to get an answer to my insanity, which is basically this. Why is it I do the things I don't want to do and don't do the things I want to do? Or why is it?
Primarily because you're not very honest with yourself. And what I mean by that is you actually are doing what you want to do. What you actually do is what you want to do. And what you think you want to do is just that. Things you think you want to do. That you don't really want to do and don't really express you, but you think you ought to be doing those things. Now, I encourage you to just become real honest with yourself, realize that you're doing what you want to do, and do them. Until you don't want to do them anymore, and then you will stop because you really don't want to do them. You're suffering from having a should system. Things you should be doing. And it doesn't allow you to be fully present with what you are doing. And what you are doing isn't really wrong. It's like appearing to be in a marriage when you aren't actually in it. You want to appear to be this kind of person when you're really this kind of person. I'm saying forget about what you should be doing, what you think you should be doing, and be fully present with what you are doing so that you can get the maximum benefit out of what you're doing. Start liking what you're doing.
Now, what if the desires of my heart are the things that I think I should be doing, but that's what's important to me, but I don't do what I feel is important to me. I feel those are desires of my heart. I keep putting them off, and all the trivial stuff of life I put more important. And so I'm putting myself off, I feel. I hear what you're saying, but then I do feel like those are the desires of my heart. That's what I really want to do. And I'm not doing it. To some extent.
Here's a simple principle for you. Make the best of what's on your plate. And forget about the menu for tomorrow night. Bring the best of you to the meal that's in front of you. You will be a lot happier. Whatever's on your plate at the moment has been provided by the movement of capital B being, of God. And it's in front of you because at that moment you're capable of bringing the best to it. And tomorrow night's meal, or whatever it is you would really like to be doing, is not in front of you to do because you're not ready to do it yet. And you're not supposed to be ready to do it yet. Bring all of your love and all of your creativity and all of your inspiration to these sort of menial, inconsequential, mundane things that end up being on your plate. Well, are you so sure that tomorrow night's meal or next month's meal is going to provide a better opportunity? It isn't. Somebody could say, "Oh, I really want to be married to someone who has a Porsche. That's my heart's desire." What is it? It's a way of avoiding being present with what is in your life now and finding God in it and being blessed by the discovery, as well as whatever you're discovering God in, being blessed by your discovery of God in that. In this case, your problem, which is what's going on right now, is your solution. And the solution, all those things you want to be doing, the wanting to be doing them instead of what's on your plate is the problem. Nothing ends up being in front of you for no reason. Or by accident. Never. And what is your function? Your function is the willingness to recognize what is real, with a capital R, meaning divinely real, in what's in front of you. Whether it's a leaf or a flower or a button. Or the vacuuming. Remember, reality, the kingdom of heaven, is what's in your face at every moment, awaiting your discovery of it for what it really is. So value whatever mundane things are in your face. They're not mundane at all. There is no need for you to experience the frustration of trying to be something you aren't, or trying to be someplace you're not, or trying to be some way that you're not being. It all will distract you from the opportunity to discover God here, right in front of you. I will tell you something else. It will make you a much more pleasant person to be around. That's the end of the answer.
Great, thank you.
Pardon?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else who is not going to be here tomorrow that hasn't had a chance to ask a question? Up here? Wait for the microphone here.
Just talk, okay. Sorting out what's real, that you were just saying what God in front of me, and I've been through a huge transition, and I have big decisions to make now about where I belong, how I can best be of service to myself and others, and my young son in particular. And you were saying they've moved from Kauai to here, and my son has moved to Hawaii from here. And he still has, a good chunk of boyhood to go through, and I'm trying to sort out how to be a part of his family and be responsible as his mother and still come into my own and live my own life out.
And what seems to be blocking this?
It's not blocking. I've just sort of let go of my whole life as I knew it. And I'm selling my house, and I'm just kind of doing a faith walk. And most of the time I'm okay with that, and I just sort of stay in the eye of the hurricane, but then I have a lot of questions.
Instead of having so many questions, I encourage you to be willing to give a lot of attention to everything. Pay attention. There's nothing to work out here. There is just stuff to pay attention to. And the reason for paying attention is so that you can be in the flow, not so you can determine where the flow ought to go. You see? And that's really the key for you at this time. It's not complicated.
Just trust.
That's always the best policy. Yes. You're welcome. Hands. Over here.
I was wondering if you had any comments about the UFO disclosure project.
No. Right here.
What is happening to people who have multiple personalities?
Extreme self-denial. Extreme unwillingness to accept themselves, love themselves, honor themselves. It is an extreme form of the practice of isolationism. It's the extreme manifestation of the unwillingness to fit in and be defended. I can't put it more simply than that.
How do they create those different people?
All of those people are them. But as self-denial persists, in other words, first one says, I'm unlike you, I'm unlike you, I'm myself. I don't have to have anything to do with you, I'm self-sufficient. I have nothing to do with this world, it is what it is, and I am what I am. And one disidentifies with things, and as the circle gets closer, then all that is left to get into a state of denial about is oneself or one's mind. And a practice of inner self-denial occurs. Well, you can't get rid of yourself. And so in the act of self-denial, in the extreme form, it is as though parts of oneself become partitioned off, a little wall built around it. But it is still you, and it's still there, insisting upon being present and asserting itself. And if this state of self-denial persists and increases, you get increasing numbers of personalities. But they are all the one individual, severely segmented off from himself.
Why does the body respond differently to those personalities? Like they say that one will be allergic to things and the other not. How does the
Indeed.
body get involved in that?
Well, this is an interesting question because it points out a capacity that each one of you has that you don't have to be insane in order to experience. And that is that your body manifests exactly what you believe. You think that your body is manifesting poor hearing because of some physical damage or physical deterioration has occurred. But someone with multiple personalities, one personality can hear perfectly well, and the other personality must wear a hearing aid. And as the personalities switch, they have to remove or put the hearing aids back in. And if the personality who is partially deaf has a physical exam, indeed the physical exam will evidence that the person cannot hear. The other personality comes, and if the individual was still sitting in the testing office for the ear exam, the test would show that they could hear. That just shows you how substantial or how actual your hearing problem is, or your knee problem, or any of the physical problems you're having. The moment the belief changes, the manifestation changes. The multiple personalities individual, the individual with multiple personalities gives evidence of the fact that the state of the body is an exact manifestation of the beliefs that are entertained and are never an actual statement about a physical body that's functioning on its own. There's a very valuable lesson there for everyone.
So is it possible to get the one that's so guarded to come out and just be by itself?
The one what?
The one personality that was so guarded to come out and be itself?
Of course, it is possible. Yes, this is not an incurable psychological problem, but in order for that to happen, the defenses have to be released, and the integration of all of the personalities reoccurs, and when the healing is complete, the whole individuality is present without this disturbance. Now this person is not as insane as he was. He's as insane as all of you are right now. Where now this one individuality that's pretty cohesive still thinks he or she is different from that one or from the leaf, and still thinks that the knees or the ears or the throat is doing things all by itself, and has the opportunity to discover that it just ain't so. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, hands. Over here.
Hi, Raj.
Good
Thank you for that example. That really helped me a lot. I came a little bit late today, but after the lunch break, I heard part of something that was going on before, and you asked if there were any yes buts. And on reflection, I keep getting this nagging thing, and I think it would fall in that category. It has to do with surrender, whether it's in a relationship of some sort, or even in a relationship to myself or some idea. I tend to fall into this trap of viewing, if I feel like I'm surrendering to my partner in a relationship or in a job situation, or to, yet again, a better idea that I have of what I should be doing, I feel like I'm just going from one box into another box, and I'm still in a box. I still haven't felt like I've yielded or surrendered to the Father's will. So I was wondering if you could, and you may have already spoken to this before lunch, but clarify in a relationship, the idea of being in a relationship. If I engage in a relationship that appears to be engaging in the other person's idea of what a relationship should be, is that
what you're surrendering to is involvement. You are surrendering to full participation, either surrendering your privateness into an interaction. I'm sorry, I lost it. We're not talking about surrendering your will to another's will. The surrender had to do with the breaking of a sense of isolation where participation and involvement and commitment can't exist. Surrendering is to surrender the wall, the division, so that full involvement can occur. So that together, whether it's a tug of war or not, the two of you can come to mutual conclusions because you have surrendered your privacy. We're talking about surrendering privacy, not surrendering to someone else's will.